Hello everybody and welcome back to the third and final game of today for the Meta High School League for Week 3, proudly sponsored by MSI and Torrens University. Once again, I am Aj, and I am now joined by Quicksand and of course Black Neko behind the broadcast, making sure everything is all nice and good. Quicksand, how are you feeling about this game coming up?
Okay, so I just casted the last game. Most of you who are still here probably saw me and be like, oh, that's the guy again. Oh my god. So that's me. And I was doing a bit of research, you know. I put up the statistics and the information behind the scenes, you know. Yeah, I work hard, okay. And would you like to tell us who's playing today? There's a bit of an interesting derby going on.
It is a bit of an interesting derby. We do have Melbourne High School Blue Side, Melbourne High School Red Side. Blue Side has a bit of an interesting name that we're going to avoid mentioning.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did you just say Melbourne High twice?
I did. Double Melbourne High School, double Quicksand as well, because you got a bit of a reverb there. So
whoopsies, my bad. Yeah, fixed it now.
Double matchup as we are into the Champions Select first band phase coming through. And Nivea Lysandra taken away on the blue side with Morgana Yasuo taken away on the red side. Some mid-focused bands coming out so far, Quicksand.
Yeah, really, really high-pressure bands. Again, we're going to look at Irelia being taken away here. And I've seen Lysandra be taken out a couple times. Again, Yasuo is just... Look, Yasuo is the champion that everyone plays because he's a cool samurai, but is often taken out because he can be performed. If he's performing well, he is very, very powerful. We're going to have Lee Sin taken out as well. The first jungler we're going to see on the list as we head into our champ select. And something I'd like to mention while the champions are being locked in is, like I was talking about with my little research that I was looking up the back, is neither of these teams have lost a game so far this season. Oh, okay.
Yeah, neither.
It's been a while since I've seen that.
Yeah, absolutely. First pick Zed, though, as well. Very ambitious. It's a very interesting pick because that requires a lot of confidence in being able to play Zed into any matchup. In particular, we are going to have the potential Ezreal picked up here, though, by Ecliptical. That's going to be a solid ADC pick. Nice, safe lane potentially coming through. Ezreal is definitely a good blind pick here.
And as I was saying, I'm gonna have looking at Diana in jungle here, very cheeky, and it looks like neither team has lost a single game so far in these 2 weeks so far of the tournament as they're running into the third, which means it's gonna be up against. Okay, look. I was talking about the last game how some of these guys might know each other and ban out the opposing Lilia jungle. Okay, yeah. That's interesting.
Solid. Absolutely.
Gonna have a Jhin in the ADC as well. And I was talking about how some of these guys might know each other. There's a chance that some guys know other schools in the area. I think I can tell you without a doubt that these guys know each other. They probably, I wouldn't be surprised if they talked to each other just before the game. They saw each other this morning at school, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna beat you guys tonight." There's probably a bit of rivalry going between both these guys, seeing as they're both from the same school.
Renata Glass picked up.
Damn, Renata is such a dangerous champion.
Absolutely.
I mean, what's your experience with Renata in your competitive games that you've played, if you've been up against her very much?
Renata is definitely a very high utility support champion and extremely good at countering single target assassins like Zed. For example, if he was to use his ultimate death mark on an individual target, whereas Renata Glass was to use her W, which prevents the target from dying outright, that could be a substantial turnaround in a team fight, because on top of that, if you are affected by Renata Glass W and you're able to get a takedown on an enemy, you come back to life. You do not die. So a very useful tool when facing a squishy assassin champion like Zed.
That's right, and her ultimate, being able to make teammates turn on one another, is just devastating, especially when, even if you're behind, right? Like, let's say you're down 10 million gold, just a bit of a gold lead on the other team. You drop your ultimate, and they're going to be killing each other, using their gold that they've saved up for, on top of each other, which is something that must be so hard to play against, because when you work so hard for your gold and you know who's strong, you don't really think about on your team, like, damn, this guy's strong. My Zed's really strong. I got to watch out for him. He's on your team. You would think that it's good and that he's working for you. So when he turns against you with that Renata ultimate, it can really hurt. Also, let's take a look at some of the bans. We got a Garen banned out, very interestingly.
Yeah, Garen and
Mordekaiser's a double top lane ban here. And we're going to have Yumi set coming from the red side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean,
and
Yumi ban?
Sorry, to go... Yeah, go ahead, get that cat off the rift, as we have an Urgot picked up, potentially here for the top side. And to go off of what you were saying before, yeah, Renata Glass with her ultimate, able to really deal some counter damage, as it were, to the opposing team, especially against heavy AD-oriented champions, like the Jhin, perhaps. If you have a friendly Jhin that's full-shotting your support, you're in for a bad time. But thankfully, though, for the side of Melbourne Blue, they do have a lot of high mobility champions, like the Lilia and the Zed, that are able to get away from the slow-moving Renata ultimate. Of course, now the Nautilus being picked up in the support position to sort of complement the Jhin there. So an alright lane so far. Good engaged champions into the squishy side of Melbourne Red.
Oh, I mean, might be seeing a mouth out here top lane, despite all the bans that have come out. It looks like BTS is going to lock in the Aatrox instead. And Aatrox up against a Urgot is a really interesting match as well. Urgot hasn't been on fire in the meta recently, but it's still a really interesting lock-in and an exciting one to watch at that. We're going to have a bit of a hug here coming from Chio. They are
another
going
assassin,
to have a... Yeah. A double assassin lineup would be a bit of a fun game to watch, and it's going to be an Orianna.
Okay, Orianna Zed. Very interesting matchup.
Hold on. Are you thinking about what I'm thinking about? Okay. Hold on. Let this process in your head. Orianna, Diana, Renata.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's going to be a hard Diana to follow. That's on top of that, the Diana that cannot die.
Oh no! And Renata is going to really, let's say, if Diana's not there, Ori sucks everyone into one spot, and then Renata just makes them fight each other. This is going to be a crazy team fight oriented comp if executed correctly.
Absolutely. And you follow that up with like an Ezreal ultimate with a True Shot Barrage, or maybe even just the shotgun knees coming in from the Urgot in a massive AoE cluster hell. It's not going to look good if the side of Melbourne Red is able to get a really good team fight going. But, of course, as we can see on the blue side, they have much more of a skirmish-opted style of team fight, aside from, say, like the Aatrox or the Lilia, which can do very well if they're able to maneuver around the opposing team.
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting game to watch, to work around. One team comp feels very oriented around team fights, putting people to, grouping people up, getting them in one spot. While we take a look at the blue side, there's a lot of CC coming from these guys. You got Lilia, even Aatrox's pulls. You have Nautilus, who's just on top of CC, and then two people who don't have much CC on them. We even have Jin's root, but Zed and Jhin just left up there to just smash out as much damage as they can. I think it's going to be a really fun one to watch, and I hope everyone else here out there watching is also just as excited as I am.
Absolutely, and of course, looking at the actual roster lineup, we do have somewhat out of order the side of Melbourne Red, and no Summoner Teleport either. So that'll make for an interesting mechanics in the later stages of the game, allowing potential split pushing opportunities for Melbourne Blue against Melbourne Red.
And I think with that, we know we have some teleports available. A lot to think about, a lot to prepare for as we roll into our third game of the night. So I think we might take it to a break here. Is there anything you'd like to whip out quickly before we roll it off?
Oh, absolutely not. Just that this game definitely looks like quite the banger. So definitely stick around, grab what you need to keep those energy levels up. I know I am. And we'll be back after the break.
See you guys in a bit.
I'm waiting. Hello everybody and welcome to the third and final game of the Meta High School League for Week 3. Once again, it is Adge and Quicksand here in the casting booth as we have a 5-man moving towards that top side, looking to get into that tri-brush. They are spotted by the Crab God, and he is spotted in return, so this movement does not go unnoticed.
Man, water is so good, isn't it, Adge? I
Water
just had
is
a cup of
great.
water. Shout out to water, man.
Some would say water is, essential to life, and I'd be inclined to agree.
Okay. I think I'd die without water, man. I can live without
me
it.
too, dude. I love water so much. But you know what goes great with water? Peppermint tea.
That's right. That is right. You know what else goes great with water? League of Legends.
Absolutely. And there's lots of water, as you can see, in the river. Tons of it.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And with all this water, you would think we see some action happening. And with the interesting little walk top lane that we just saw from Melbourne High School Blue, looks like nothing went down, and both teams just going to take their buffs.
Absolutely. Nothing too aggressive, at least. We do have a cheeky ward, though, on the bottom side of the blue side red buff. So they will get a little bit of vision, potentially. I believe that ward will expire probably by the time Lilia is able to make her rounds there, unless she doesn't go for the full clear on her bottom side. But I do think for the most part, it's going to be a relatively tame early game from both these teams. Orianna lacks the damage to go aggressive on the Zed, so that's, for the most part, all the action we're going to see is in the mid lane here on the Zed, trying to make something happen on the Orianna. Maybe something happening topside with the Urgot, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm. I think most of the lanes are going to feel very slowed down until the junglers decide to try and make their interference.
To advantage her on the bot side, forcing the flash of Light Eden, caught out of position there, not falling back towards the minion wave, using it as a shield to cover that hook. We are going to have some early aggression though in the jungler, as Pentatsuo is trying to make something happen and is now getting cornered into the base, trying to force an execute. Oh, you hate to see that. That is going to put such a stifle on his jungle.
Oh, man.
But hey, and at least it's an execute. At least it's an execute.
Mm-hmm.
No first blood gold hand just yet.
And as I was saying, it feels like it's going to be a very slow game here, with both teams waiting for opportunities coming from their junglers, which it seems like Red side has slowed down just a little bit because of their Diana being taken out through the execute. Lilia finally getting her hands on the red buff without too much issue. I think if we take a look towards bot lane and how they're going to be operating around, Nautilus is very, very good at warding off the opponents with the incredible amount of CC that he sits on. And having Hyper to back up with the fourth shot is quite a... It is somewhat of an offensive early game, but it isn't enough to look for kills. It is enough to try and ward. While Ezreal has a bit of a weaker early game, he does have a lot of ability to try and escape and move around. It seems like this bot lane is going to be very slow, waiting for power spikes, waiting for abilities, waiting for gold to come into hands here.
Yes, cheeky little Urgot grab there. Not going to be nearly enough damage just yet to be able to put Urgot or Aatrox within lethal range. But yes, as you mentioned, Ezreal able to play really safe early on in laning phase, especially when paired with even Hourglass with Barrier. Sorry, not with Barrier, with
Lilia?
Overshield. Lilia coming through. They don't have the movement speed to be able to fully close in on them. Nautilus Hook already went awry. So it's just a bit of an awkward sort of walk up menacingly tactic there from Melbourne Blue. As we do have Diana once again looking to counter jungle. It's going to take over those wolves, seeing that they're not spawned just yet, as they will come in relatively shortly. Nice flash forward ignite from the Orianna, though. Unexpected, as the Zed, which will remain nameless, just is unaware of the lethality range that Orianna can possess, especially with that Airy proc, able to do a surprising amount of damage with her auto attack. Look, coming in from an auto, followed up by the Jin W. Will see the Renata in lethal range, but there's not enough damage to be able to reset her life bar, as that is going to be a nice trade kill early on in terms of the team matchup. As that's another W landing by the Jin. E-flash out of the way of the Nautilus. Things are looking to be interesting. It's sort of a stop-go stutter right here, as we do have Lilia coming through, wanting to tower dive the Ezreal. As in comes the volley, Q not able to connect, but in goes the Nautilus. Nautilus like kill. And that is just a free tower dive, ultimately, there for Melbourne Blue.
Yeah. Oh, that was really fun to watch. A very exciting sequence of events here. Chio finally be able to take lead in her lane, getting up 1 kill, and the Zed, again, like you said, that lethality is just incredible, come from Orianna, and be able to take that lead early in the game. Like you said, it was going to, you predicted it being a stale and somewhat slow early game in this mid lane, but it looks like it has completely swapped around, with Chio being able to take advantage of some of the unexpectedness coming from her champion, and it's completely switched the tides. Yeah,
no, definitely. As we can see, Chio Lestrange performing very well on the Orianna, able to dish out a lot of damage so far. I'm quite eager to see how she is able to transfer this sort of potential into the mid to late game. Especially, as you mentioned, the amount of wombo combo potential in their team fight with the Diana there.
Yeah, and finally down in
damn it, it was the ultimate. Oh, that is a cheeky ultimate under the tower there by the Orianna, but it does look like Light of Eden will be finished off as well with a flash forward and that fourth shot from Hyper. Trade kills going out all around. In comes Lilia. No ultimate though, but the damage is there. Potentially able to take the kill. W will connect, but not the center, as the Q outer range will just barely hit. In comes the Lilia ultimate. Ticks level 6 just in time to get out nice and safe. Whew. That was a very interesting scuffle there in the mid lane. Wouldn't you agree, Quicksand?
Oh, yeah. I mean, everything was going on all over the place.
Absolutely.
Orianna was finally made their move once again, trying to hop on top of that Zed, who was unable to challenge it once again. But then Orianna, unfortunately, being challenged despite having a wonderful walk up here by the Lilia, who not only got the pick on top of the Ori, but also managed to get a nice little walkway without getting finished off by Penthouse Duo on that Diana. So I think Shadowblade is feeling pretty happy with themselves right now.
Oh, I absolutely imagine they would be. And now looking for Dragon Pressure, Urgot trying to finish off the Aatrox up here, able to land the Q. Aatrox ultimate to try and get that extra movement speed, and the healing could potentially turn this around as he's connecting Q after Q. No flash available though to follow up. No Urgot ultimate available either though for the potential execute. That is a very close Q there from the Aatrox, but just barely out of range as the Urgot is able to pick up that demigod and slow him down, at least, temporarily with the, you can't really kill Aatrox. He's kind of invincible. He will be back. But at least in this capacity, Urgot's able to pick himself up a Tiamat there and excel his lane pressure at the moment.
Yeah, I think that Aatrox is going to be really unhappy with that death. Urgot really looking to hit his ultimate and pull Aatrox in with the chains in that first engagement. And then the Ignite had come down on top of the Aatrox as well. And Aatrox pulled out the ultimate just in time to be able to heal just enough to not die from the Ignite. Like Aatrox was on death's door before the Ignite came out.
Absolutely.
And if Aatrox had committed any further and had some confidence in their ability to regenerate health, they probably would have gotten the trade on top of Charlie there. But unfortunately, Aatrox did back off, giving Charlie the opportunity to reposition, build up some more knee shotguns, and in the end, get the trades on top of Aatrox.
Definitely. And Aatrox is one of those champions that you kind of have to get the ball rolling early if you want to be able to succeed well on them. Aatrox is very much an item-dependent champion, so getting an early gold lead is incredibly potent for him. But as is Urgot, as we can see, already itemizing towards that Titanic Hydra to get that extra burst proc on his auto attacks. And that enhanced damage goes a long way in this matchup as another potential scuttle fight here, as Diana is able to pick that one up.
And now we're starting to see what kind of game this is beginning to form out. We haven't really seen the red side to get the opportunity to show their stuff, and I think it's going to be much more interesting to see them walk into the late game, as their team is quite team fight oriented. They have that Ezreal who's looking to scale once he starts picking up items. They have Diana who starts scaling somewhat well in the mid game, and the fact that their whole team is oriented around trying to team fight, I think that they haven't been able to show their full potential now, while the blue side is trying to get some pokes, trying to take some leads, and try to get some advantages before it starts getting more and more difficult.
Really is trying to finish off the Orianna ultimate coming in for that sleepy time, giving it to the Jhin. What a good teammate right there. As we did actually have a bit of a fight up here in the top side. Flash forward from Urgot will secure the kill onto Ascheek. What are these names? All of these names are just so inappropriate, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, we're not going to come for the players' decision-making and name deciding today, but actually we are going to talk about decision-making here. Urgot looking for the flash on top of that Aatrox as well with the backup Diana. Very, very valuable summoner spell to try and save for a lot of times. Urgot did burn that flash. Could it have been saved any further? I mean, what do you think, Edge? Would you have tried to burn a flash there if you were Urgot?
Absolutely, I would have tried to burn a flash there. And as we can see, it's definitely been paying off. Yes, Melbourne Blue was able to pick up the dragon, the Infernal Dragon there, as a result of the escapade there topside. But 4 plates now in the side of the Urgot. Titanic Hydra already finished. First item in the game to be finished. Only a 4 CS lead, but you will be able to tell the power once he's able to get that mythic item rolling on top of this Urgot, and he will definitely be a powerhouse throughout these team fights that Melbourne Blue will need to recognize and find a way to deal with. Like, early game is everything, especially in top.
Yeah, dude, early game really sets a precedent, especially when you try to take a look at some of the skill levels of a lot of the players. And I think the match we've seen the last game we watched and this game, both teams have won both their games, meaning they have learned a bit more and they are a cut above some of the other players we have seen so far in this tournament, which means that most of these players won't be that lower elo kind of players who are still trying to get a grasp of the game and still have a lot of room to improve, as this is just a high school tournament and everyone still has a lot of time to learn about League of Legends and a lot of time to grow more. But I think something that both teams deal with very differently, and the fact that we can see a highly
Renata, it's just going to go down. Will there be enough kill pressure to get them back up? Yes, there will, and a nice return follow-up there from the side of Melbourne Red with the Diana there. And as we're looking at the gold charts that have been brought up, there is a sizable difference in the mid lane now between the Orianna and the Zed. Again, Chio Lestrange playing incredibly well at the moment, and pairing that with the Urgot and the Diana, who are already also doing well in their own regard, this just looks like the dream making at the moment for a good team fighting composition for Melbourne Red. Wouldn't you agree, Quicksand?
Yeah, and as I was saying, we're talking about that goal count, and it looks like after that fight as well, that was an incredible little flash into the team fighting potential here coming from Red side, especially with Renata using her what was it, elimination or die? Yes, such an incredible ability.
But the Jhin though,
what was the word for it? It was like elimination. It was a takedown. That's the word. I got it. The takedown or die.
Yep, absolutely, takedown or die. And they absolutely were getting the assist there as Rift Herald is now used here in the mid lane. forcing Zed, who shall not be named, back off the tower. I believe it will go down at least with a couple of auto attacks to boot, as Lilia potentially coming in here lands the fast traveling seed onto Diana, and just little bits of pressure coming out here now. Orianna desperately wants to be able to take this tower to continue the gold lead that they have been able to develop as of late. Even now, has the potential to get the kill on the Zed, just like that.
Wow, Ori is so strong. She's stacking up her dark stack, her dark seal a lot. She's now 4-2, which is developing forward really, really well, especially up against her laner, who seemed like such a threat with that early poke they had, but did not proceed any further. And
we're gonna have
Renata here.
Lands it on the Nautilus, doesn't get anything from it though. Diana just kind of awkwardly shuffling about, gets ultimate by the Lilia, might even be taken down here. Renata lost ultimate though to keep her alive, potentially. No, just barely, not enough damage coming through. Nautilus goes white though, so no rebuttal so far. Maybe as they're following up, Arcane Shift from Ezreal will keep him safe, as this is just a bit of an awkward back and forth shuffle coming in from the bot side here. Looking in favor of Melbourne Blue, though.
And again, these kill counts have been so close. Renata had a
Oh no, Orianna able to pick up another kill there for Chio Lestrange. Looking towards this bottom lane duo, though. Do they have the movement speed to follow it up?
Ori here trying to use a cheeky little speed boost to try and keep up with them. They're going to look again with Nautilus here trying to back in the bush.
Why were they back there? They should just keep going towards the tower. In comes Zed, though, with the death mark on top of the Orianna. Chio Lestrange will go down. That's a very nice bounty, though. Zed. As Dragon is on the table, they could look to do it. They definitely would have the damage between Zed and Jhin there. But Lilia, making their way towards the top side, likely means they'll put that on hold for now, as it looks like Arsecheek there on the Aatrox needs help in dealing with this Urgot.
Yeah, and man, is Urgot strong. Urgot is starting to scale really out of this Aatrox's control, where it doesn't feel like there's that much of a gold difference or a dominance difference, but Urgot has gained more territory, has the ability to get more support from his teammates.
They're looking to fight him off. He's trying to do his best, but there's actually a lot of damage coming from the Lilia. Hasn't opted towards any armor or magic resist, is all health, all damage. But unfortunately, that doesn't really help when your opponents also deal a lot of damage.
That's right, and Zed finally managed to pick up his first kill as we see the red side here, looking for their first dragon. There is going to be some contesting coming from the blue side.
There is going to be some, but it's not going to be enough, as that will be the first dragon for Melbourne Red there, as it's going to be an Ocean Soul coming onto the Rift. Honestly, Ocean Soul for both these teams, obviously Ocean Soul is really good, but as of right now, it definitely seems like with that hook on the Nautilus, Orianna able to flash away, but the Jhin ultimate just barely disconnecting as he has to cancel it as Renata makes her way in. Zed finding himself a Ezreal all by him lonesome in the bottom side, able to get a kill, as there is just a scuffle happening all across the map. Seed will not connect onto the Orianna for the finishing blow, as it is just barely members of each team hanging on edge. Jhin looking for a cheeky W onto the Renata there, as Diana on the wings looking for an opening, might have one if she's able to connect her Crescent Moon attack, but it won't be the case, as it just falls back to a standstill here. This is very much a stop and start game right now, Quicksand.
Yeah, man, it is crazy. And the scores just are like glued to each other. It's always one kill, back, one kill, back, even, one kill, even, one kill. Like, it is all over the place. And that just shows that both teams from Melbourne High do not want to go down because of the rivalry that's probably facing between both these teams right now. I mean, I wouldn't want to go back to school the next day just to get, with being the loser, going up against all my mates who just beat me in a streamed match for Meta High School. Like, such a big tournament as well. Having the opportunity to play up against your friends, people you know you can ban out, they're probably thinking, oh, I know exactly how Elliptical plays on that Ezreal. I'm going to get this one under wraps. Oh, I know exactly how Bentaswo plays on that Diana. And it's so much fun to see both teams banter with each other, realizing that... Realizing when we while you're watching as well, I want everyone just to, and most people watching probably know
there will be a fight happening real quick. We'll have to put that on hold as Urgot trying to take down the Aatrox, not able to connect it, but will connect it onto the Lilia and take him down just as he's fallen asleep. Meanwhile, there's a Diana ultimate coming through on top of the Jhin. Is it going to be enough? Ronaldo W keeping her alive, just barely gets the shutdown. In comes Ezreal. I don't think he's going to be able to finish off the Aatrox. Maybe with the help of the Urgot as they're able to take down the Nautilus. Not just a 2-on-1 up here. Meanwhile, mid lane matchups are in the bottom side. It does look like Urgot and Ezreal may be able to take them down with the apprehend there from the Urgot. And that will be a very nice pickup there for the side of Melbourne Red. But again, even trading all around. Only a minuscule gold lead for Melbourne Red at the moment.
Yeah. Despite picking up 4 kills. Yeah. Despite picking up 4 kills, Melbourne Red now 2. But again, look at. I keep saying it's a 1-kill game, and it still is. There's only 1 kill difference between, but there's a 2,000 gold difference. And I think there was something really interesting there, where Ezreal really just rocked the entire blue side with his ultimate. Everything you were saying was occurring at the same time, with so many different ultimates dropping down. And Ezreal's ultimate was just a knife cutting through butter. It flew through the team, and I think it gave his team a massive advantage. Even though Ezreal's ultimate isn't known for being the biggest damage-dealing threat, it certainly can hurt. Especially earlier in the game, Ezreal's ultimate can be something that you really have to look out for, and you put a lot of effort into dodging. And I'd say...
Speaking of things to look out for, Ronaldo Glass needs to look out for that roaming Nautilus with the trio of the Lilia and the Jhin following up. But I will say, one thing that does go against the 1-for-1 trades that we're seeing throughout this game, the outlier here is the Urgot, who is 4-1-2. 2 items completed, the Black Cleaver and the Titanic Hydra. You might see a bit of a detriment now, as we do have both the Zed and the Aatrox looking to get the kill on him, as he's not able to get out of the Aatrox W. He will be locked out, throws the flash over the wall. Meanwhile, it's just the Zed on top of him, has to go back over the wall to Shadow Form, but he will be taken down by the Aatrox. Meanwhile, pressure happening in the mid lane, while Sheila Strange making their way up through the river.
Yeah, damn. He was really looking for something with that ultimate as well, and he was very, very close to it. Getting double teamed there must have hurt. And again, the kill distribution so far in this game is really interesting. Again, we have Chio sitting on 6 kills, and then 4 kills sitting on a Shadowblade Lilia and a Hyper Jhin. Again, the kills are quite high so far, especially for 20 minutes into the game, and sitting on all of them, who can make a massive
That's going to be a Lilia.
Yeah, that's going to be Lilia. That is going to be Lilia.
That could potentially be Dragon coming up in the next couple seconds. They don't have the jungler there, as Diana's currently topside, but they could definitely look to open it up, as it's just a 3v2 down here. Renata and Orianna, no biggie. Teleport, though, coming in, though. That's going to be the Aatrox coming through. It's going to be a 2v4 down here, and I don't believe the Orianna has the kit necessary to stay alive. We'll use the Zhonya's, but will get taken down, followed up by the Nautilus hook onto the Renata. That's going to be a 2-for-0 in favor of Melbourne Blue. Sheila Strange and Light of Eden getting caught out there, unfortunately.
Yeah, and now Dragon Pro is going to go over to the blue side here. And, man... I can't tell which way this game is going to go. Like, so many team fights are swapping back and forth, despite the seemingly dominant team fight that the red side has here coming from the draft. It has been so close, and it seems to be due to a lot of outliers or a lot of members not being present in fights, which can lead to massive changes in how the game is going. We have a lot of split pushes coming from Diana. Renata was taken out early, and Ezreal is just trying to farm up and get more and more gold. And a lot of the game here is sitting in Chio's hands and sitting in Hyper's hands, who now has taken the biggest gold lead for his team right now. And it's going to be a really big face-off between someone who is more support-based but still deals a lot of damage and has the ability to try and peel themselves, sit in the back line, and create opportunity for their teammates, while we have Jhin here, who is the one trying to capitalize on the opportunities given by their teammates.
Absolutely. We see the curtain call coming in relatively clutch a couple of times here. And one thing I will point out is, I'm not sure if it's going to be too relevant or not, but Shelly in the top side was able to get the second charge off on that inhibitor turret due to, I think it was a little bit of a glitch where she was stuck in the tower and was teleported to the next tower. So, a bit unfortunate there for Melbourne Blue, but, you know, yeah, that's just how the game goes, unfortunately, sometimes. As we do have looks for pressure around Baron at the moment. Wards coming out from both teams. As we have the Zed trying to clear them out and getting himself into a bit of a trouble with the Urgot and Renata Glass. Able to dash away though, while the rest of his team comes in behind.
Now, let's take a quick stat check on how everyone's looking while we wait for our next little engagement here. There is 3 minutes left on the next dragon. Baron is up, so I don't know if we're going to be seeing anything too crazy right now. Both teams are just staring at each other, waiting for an opportunity, and both supports have been very, very significant in this game, with 3 kills and 8 assists sitting on BTS.
But that's on to Diana. Might be looking for the fight here. No, just posture checking, seeing how each other's team shapes up. Aatrox making his way, though, through the mid lane. Curtain Call coming out to try and slow them down, making their way there. Ultimately, not going to do too much, though. Get rid of ultimate. In terms of Sleepy, though, from the Lilia, followed by the Renata ultimate, it is just an absolute mayhem of a fight. Aatrox running away from the Urgot. Meanwhile, Lilia also trying to run away from the Diana. Gets hunted down. Diana trying to find what she can, getting the speed boost from the Orianna and the Renata as they're trying to make their way forward. Will not have the movement speed able to catch up, but might have the momentum to be able to seize this tower or potentially make a move towards Baron.
There it is. For those of you who may have been unable to keep up with the absolute mayhem that just occurred there. Basically, Orianna, Diana, Renata.
Well, they might be able to take this in.
I'll say it. I said it at the start of the game. I'll say it now. I'll say it at the end. Hey, say it with me, Edge. Say it with me. Orianna, Diana, Renata.
Orianna, Diana, and Renata. Absolutely.
These guys.
And on top of that entire time, yeah, they really are. The synergy coming out from this team comp is astounding. And on the top of that, you now have Urgot, who has finally gotten his mythic item, and it, of course, is the Iceborne Gauntlet, or the Frostfire Gauntlet, sorry, which will absolutely come in handy in continually slowing down opponents in the middle of fights. And as we can see, he was the one keeping Aatrox out of that fight the entire time there. And if he's able to continuously do that from now on, it will bode incredibly well for Melbourne.
That's right, and I have been getting a bit excited here about the Orianna, Diana, Renata, but there is still a huge threat here on the blue side as well, coming from a wonderful little combination here, coming from between Lilia and Jhin. And these guys have been so scary this far in the game, and Nautilus has just been on fire. There's a lot of standout players here coming from both sides, and I think the blue side still has a lot up their pocket that they haven't had a chance to show here, with Jhin coming in with the curtain call, looking to start a fight.
Absolutely. I think the big issue that happened for Melbourne Blue there in that last fight was they all dogpiled onto the same target, which Renata was able to deny with her W, thus preventing pretty much any essential members from falling in that teamfight, bar Ecliptical there. So I think the best approach right now for Melbourne Blue would be to try and focus down multiple targets at the same time, as we are going to get the movement speed bonus coming in. Flash forward, though, from the Zed to try and get out in time, as they are looking for the dragon as it's coming up very shortly.
And there it is. As the dragon spawns, they look to get their second equalized dragon objective control on both sides. It looks like you may see a bit of a fight here breaking out, with Blue trying to keep control on top of this dragon.
Absolutely dragging it out, as they say, as it is going to be an even split, as always in this game, in terms of the dragons, in terms of the kills, not in terms of the gold lead just yet. Maybe after Aatrox takes this tower, it'll soften up a little bit. But right now, we have pings from the blue side onto the Baron pit. They suspect something might be up, and suspect they are correct in doing so, as that is going to be Baron looking to be started up by Melbourne Red here. I don't think Melbourne Blue are going to enclose fast enough to be able to prevent them from doing it, and it doesn't look like they're going to look to stop the recalls either necessarily. There's going to be a relatively free Baron there for Melbourne Red.
And a Baron has been handed over for the price of a Dragon, a Baron has been handed over in a 2-for-1 deal with the Baron, with Melbourne Red just all over the place on objectives, and they have pushed so far. They have an open inhibitor, towards the blue side. They have an inhibitor turret, and now it's just looking. It's starting to look worse and worse for the blue side here. Unless the blue side is down a Baron. They are down a Dragon. They have been slowed, but they are not going to give up here, and they are looking for more. I think there is a lot of potential here from blue side to be able to try and look back for some kind of turn here. It may be a pick on top of Orianna to deny this huge wombo combo that they can start off with. Maybe using the Zed potential. Maybe using the curtain call from Jhin. Trying to deny gold. Trying to pick up bounties. They are not so far off swinging this game back, and this is the best thing about these kind of games. They're on the exact same amount of kills. There's only a 4,000 gold difference at 30 minutes. Neither team has claimed the Dragon Soul, and we have yet to see Red do anything with the Baron buff. It's going to be really interesting to see how both teams are looking to play the game from now.
Absolutely. I don't imagine Melbourne Red will be able to get much done with the Baron buff as the current state of the lanes with the minions and how they're pushed. But there was a very close attempt there on Ecliptical's life by the Zed and Aatrox there in the top side. Thankfully, though, Ecliptical did not need to use his flash as he had used it earlier in his own base. Thought he'd be sly and get away with it. No, I've got you.
And I think that's something that I feel like Lilia has gone under the radar this game. Shadowblade, despite picking up a lot of kills, standing out for his team, I think there's been a lot of contribution here because look, blue side is having a hard time trying to stand out in team fights because red side is just so strong with it. And Lilia's sleep has just been incredible. Lilia's sleep is always incredible. Being able to hit a ball from being able to hit a ball from the other side of the map and CC your opponent for a couple of seconds is crazy. And Lilia has been executing that really well. Back up the Jhin to be able to give more kills, and we see a bit of a fight here breaking out on both the inhibitors.
Yeah, pressure on the inhibitors here for the top and mid lane, while the Zed for Melbourne Blue is just on the other side of the map. Meanwhile, who's going to be the Lilia taken down, no issue. Aatrox going to get pulled in and greased by the Urgot, while the rest of the team is just slowly trying to retreat back to the fountain, unable to get there in time. Zed trying to take down the Orianna, but the Zhonyas will keep them alive, and it is most likely going to be game going towards Melbourne Red there. Congratulations, well done to you guys. Admiral fight though from Melbourne Blue, but as you said, unable to get that utility for their composition rolling. The Lilia not able to get those opportunities to get the good team fight positioning that she would like, especially when against champions like the Orianna and Diana.
Yeah, and what a game. What a game. I think that this game felt so close at all times, and despite the gold lead not being that big between either team there, Red had such a domineering performance as they were pushing up. They had maybe 4,000 gold on top of the other team. They did have a Baron buff on this side, but these are all objectives that were captured based on using pressure, on using momentum, using all kind of control and team fight objectives that they have managed to gain throughout the entire game by analyzing by the other team, by working with their team better. And that just shows that a team that was oriented to go around team fights, and they forced the game to be around team fights at some of these objectives. And with barely a 4k gold difference, they managed to look like they were up 10,000 gold in that final push on top of those turrets.
Absolutely. And of course, with that game going through, we have to think about who deserves MVP for that game.
And I got to give it to Chio. I think there are a lot of standouts coming from the Urgot up top, from some of the Renata down bottom as well. But Chio enabled almost all of those plays to happen. I think they were standing on top of the kills here, which was just fantastic. But at the same time, they also enabled their Diana to do so much damage. They enabled their Renata to drop their ultimate and to keep everyone alive. I'm going to give it to Chio. And that is our MVP of the night, presented by Torrens University and MSI. Chio, Lestrange. I mean, did you have any other standout players on your side, Adge, besides Chio, who performed very well?
Oh, absolutely. There were outstanding players on both sides. Like obviously, you had the Lilia there, able to perform incredibly well, being able to make up for the losses that their team had. It was a complete back and forth game. So both, at least up until the final 5 or so minutes. So definitely admirable efforts all round for both players on all teams. So honestly, they're all deserving of significant amounts of credit. But as you stated, Chio, with a incredibly impressive performance on the Oriana there, she definitely deserves some praise.
Mm-hmm. And what a wonderful game overall. Like I said, it felt very close. It felt like the game was won through an interesting combination of skill and teamwork that was showed by both sides, but shown more proficiently by the red side here. And League of Legends may feel like a game of skill, but there is that gold difference and farming that can happen. But this one felt like both teams were even on gold, and it was just how well people could move around and press buttons. And I think that's what League of Legends should be about, and it's pretty fun to watch.
Some would say that moving around, being able to press buttons in a certain sequence is League of Legends, and some people are able to press buttons just simply better than others. And speaking of people that can press buttons, I do believe we have a player interview coming through. 2 of them, actually. So we are going to have 2 players from Melbourne Blue coming through. I believe it's going to be Light of Eden and Chio Lestrange. So we'll go ahead and get those coming in and get those interview questions rolling.
Mm-hmm. Hey, let me pull up my interview question. I didn't write it down, but I can look like I did.
Exactly. As soon as we're able to get them coming through into the production, we'll be able to continue going. I believe they're just testing their microphones. Going through that game, like, obviously, there's going to be some bragging rights next day of school, clearly.
And it's a Wednesday too, dude. Nothing's crazy about a Wednesday at school. It's just the middle of the week, People are like, it's so close to the weekend, but they're still so far as well. And these guys, something to brighten up their week. Be like, yeah, we won that. And
absolutely,
I think I have a couple of things to ask these guys. I mean, we can ask them. Are they going to be boasting walking out of school? Yeah, that's right. We, the Melbourne High team. Hey, we're the one that won. And both. Oh, and I just dropped my phone. Okay, I have to. I have my interview questions. I had at least a good 20 written down in there. Now it's gone. That's a shame. Oh, I guess someone has to come up.
Such a shame. Like the feeble paper not able to withstand falling a mere couple feet.
Absolutely
does
devastating.
Appear there is
as we should
significant delay with the interview, unfortunately.
There we go. I think we're all right now. And
here we go.
We are just about ready to bring in our interviewees, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else. Let's welcome them. How's it going, guys? If you are around yet.
Hello.
Coming through just now. There we go.
Is mine working too?
Yep.
Hey guys.
Sir.
Okay, great. Hello.
Hey guys, how'd it go? Are you happy? Well, first things first, are you happy with your victory?
We had a bet going for like who gets the most deaths has to shout us all bubble tea, and neither of us. Actually, no, Sam got the most deaths, right? You got most bubble tea.
I had the most deaths, so I believe it is my turn, which is not so great. But hey, we won, so that's good.
Unfortunate. But yeah.
We're
kind of happy with how that went. It was like a little bit rough around the edges, but we're pretty happy with it, I think.
I mean, I got bragging rights. That's enough.
Oh, absolutely. I was going to say, you may have had the most deaths, but you definitely also had one of the best performances in the game. So you should feel good about being able to buy that bubble tea.
Yeah, no, it's sad, but it's good.
It's an honor, and you
don't.
While
it's sad, I am happy. So it's fine.
Seeing as everyone's from the same school, did you guys ever talk to the other team, have any ideas? And do you think you're going to be a bit more prideful when you walk into school, seeing as you're the Melbourne High team that did manage to walk away with the victory tonight?
So we have talked to members of the other team because yes, they are in our school in our classes.
He shares classes with them. I don't.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
But
in my classes.
when I say
right?
they're around, sure, I'll rub it in, I guess. we played with them last year, so it's like I don't know, I feel kind of bad.
Yeah, we were on a team with them last year, so we know them a bit.
And
Right, and
you have a big season ahead of you. Oh yeah, no, you go ahead, Edge.
oh no, I was about to ask the exact same question. You guys have a big season going ahead of you. Do you have any, potential, thoughts or strategies that you're looking to try and develop or pull out? You don't have to give any details away, but is there anything in the think tank, as it were, going forward as the season
so
progresses?
many things.
We have a lot of stuff.
We have a lot of stuff. Our Discord is very messy with random strategies everywhere. Our ADC is a really good player. I don't know how else to say it. Who thinks about the game a lot, and we appreciate them a lot. And I'm very sorry that I kind of threw the lane for them because I played pretty badly. But anyway, they're really good at this. So we've been coming up with a lot of stuff with the time that we have spare from VC, obviously. But yeah, it's interesting. It's going to be a fun season.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome, that's great to hear.
I really think there's a lot. Sorry.
Anything you want to add? Quickly?
We have a lot of stuff to add. We'll probably see them a lot later on, but we have a lot of job styles that we can't really share. It's just hard, but I think the more we go on through the season, right? Because it's match based on points. I think right now we're currently reacting to the draft a lot, but I think once we can come in with a set strategy, a lot more will in our gameplay as well as our drafting.
I'm really glad to hear that. And Adge, I don't think I have anything else to ask. You guys have played a fantastic game, put on a fantastic show for all of us, and I'm really excited to see where your team goes on next. There is maybe a bit of a lag delay with my camera. Apologies, everyone. And
It's okay.
I'm really excited to see where you guys go next. So good luck to you, and I wish you the best for all your tournaments.
Appreciate
Absolutely.
it. Thanks for casting.
Appreciate
the
guys.
support.
Oh yeah, we appreciate you guys casting. It's really nice to take time out of your day and stuff.
No
Absolutely.
worries. You guys enjoy your evening,
All right, guys.
and we'll see you later.
See ya.
Hey, Adge, cool, wasn't it?
Absolutely. It's one thing to be able to talk to newer developing players, because if you think about it, meta for us here in the OPL, OCS, LCO, whatever you want to refer to the region as, these are the potential up-and-coming stars of those regions. And this foresight that we're able to get is definitely something that you can look back on, and it's a good feeling. I'll say that.
That's right. Mm-hmm. And I think, look, hey, one day, when one of these guys does really well, you'll be like, oh yeah, I casted him when his career started. I'm a day one. I saw them when they were just developing.
I knew him before he was cool.
So that's really exciting to see. And I'm really glad with how the tournament went tonight. I had a great time casting it, and I think you did as well, Edge. Is there anything else you'd like to... I know something I want to say, but I'll hand it over to you first. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we close it up?
No, just hope you guys enjoyed the broadcast, and looking forward to being back next week. So be sure to tune in for that, guys.
And before everyone runs off, if you enjoyed our cast, if you enjoy who we are, there are our Twitters down there. Mine is Quicksound with 2 A's, not 2 N's. Bit of a typo there. And follow ADJ at Adjacent World. I got photos of eggs on my Twitter. It's pretty cool. So come check us out for more of our casts. Well, look, either way. Follow up if you want to see more of our stuff. And
absolutely.
I hope you all have a fantastic night. Get comfy, get warm. It's been pretty cold recently. So get a second blanket on top of your ones you already have. Make sure your pillow's nice and fluffy. And have an amazing sleep tonight, everyone.
Gotcha.
See you guys later.
I'm waving.